Hey y'all. Yeah. How y'all doing this morning, evening, afternoon, night? How y'all doing? Yeah. Y'all come on in now. Get that first seat. Before them tickets run out. Yeah. Y'all, I tell you what, we gonna get into something that I don't understand. Don't hit me. I just don't know. You know, it's the decision that the young folks make these days. Some of them. Y'all come on in. All right, y'all. Y'all know how I do it. Yes, sir. Now look, y'all. I'm not gonna get way deep down in it, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit of it. Now we're gonna talk about Mr. McIntyre. Mr. McIntyre or Mr. McIntyre. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Tay-K. And a alleged rapper. He can't be no rapper trying to rob people. But anyway, let's give a shout out to all my workers. All my morning workers. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ooh, Lord, y'all. I still get up early and go to bed. I'm still on my same time. Ain't y'all? You already retired. You still get up early. But guess what, y'all? Okay, shout out to my funny acting subs. And you know we don't care when somebody calls us funny acting, because it's good to be funny acting, right? But anyway, like, share, and subscribe to this video. Now, y'all, before we do anything, y'all know what I got to do. Because I don't want them crawling, flying around in the chat. Close that screen, though. And start letting all them flies up in here. Yeah. Y'all remember y'all grandma used to tell y'all close that screen door. You know your mom used to say, close that screen door and start letting all them flies up in here. What's wrong with you? So y'all, we gonna get in so much fun. You know, I love to have fun. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. But y'all, we gonna get into y'all keep on getting in trouble. The more y'all get in trouble, the more content got made. So keep getting in trouble. Just keep getting in trouble. Because you're going to do what you want to do. You're going to learn the hard way. You're going to learn the hard way. Ain't nothing I can say. Ain't nothing I can say. And I ain't feeling sorry for you. Just keep on doing what you do. We're going to get into Tay-K, y'all. Another rapper, but it's his decision. It's his responsibility, or his actions and consequences. That he keep getting tied up. Y'all keep getting yourself tied up in. It don't be your mama's fault. Be your fault. Now look, y'all. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, DJ. You're so sweet. Now look, y'all, we're gonna get into. Let me tell you something about this young man right here. You know me, I'm all over the place. You know, when it come down to news, might what call me a journalist, okay? But anyway, y'all, he's supposed to be a Texas rapper. He's supposed to be. Oh, y'all rapper, y'all might well start make some rap up and go and get you a jailhouse studio, a jailhouse a musical something going on. Cause y'all love going to jail. I tell you the truth. Then you get up in court, then you look surprised. Now, a Texas rapper who performed as Tay-K and was best known for his 2017 single, The Race. Don't ask me how it sounds, cause I know I didn't listen to it. I know I didn't listen to it because I never heard of it. And was convicted of murder for a second time. Now I don't care if it, the first time if he was with them and then you being with them, you still committed the crime. That's true, y'all. If you go right now, if you commit a crime and I'm with you, I'm going to jail. So stop pretending like that don't happen. So this is his second time. This is McIntyre's second time after a jury found him guilty of fatally shooting a San Antonio man. Well, I don't know why you looking like that. I don't know what you looking like that for. It ain't had nothing to do with them. Stand your ground. Mm-mm. Anyway, his real name is Tamar, y'all. Tamar. I'm gonna say Tamar because I said Tamar. You know how y'all is. Okay, Tamar faces up to life in prison with the possibility of parole for the killing of a 23-year-old Mark Anthony Salivar. In 2017, I told y'all people back a while when I had this channel. I told y'all think these old cases back into it. Stop calling stuff old, okay? Somebody ran something across me. They said this is an old case, and they still mess with baby. They coming to get you. You hear me? That's why they gave you a year vacation out. Yeah. They were getting their stuff together when when COVID came around here and they locked y'all up in the house. They were trying to catch up with the paperwork. Because y'all were giving them work to do too fast. But anyway, y'all, this happened in 2017, and that's what he did. Okay. Now, McIntyre, I'm going to say Tay-K because he called himself that. I'm going to respect him by calling him Tay-K. Tay-K had already been serving a 50, listen y'all, he already been serving a 55-year sentence over a separate fatal shooting. So he don't have his second time in life. He don't have his second time. Y'all don't get three chances like we did back in the day. Because we didn't mean to do it. y'all get a second chance. Y'all don't get no third chance no more. You know, it 3 strikes you out, but y'all make y'all second strike be the third strike. But anyway, I know his mama somewhere resting. Whoever took him, I bet they say, oh, I'm glad that boy out the street. At least I know where he is and I can come visit him in there. Okay? Anyway. He was serving a 55-year sentence over a separate fatal shooting. Prosecutor said that McIntyre shot Salivar after a rapper tried to rob him. Authorities said McIntyre had picked up Salivar, who was a photographer. So he picked up the man. Come on, y'all. Let's listen to this. See, I ain't even get a chance to do on read over the thing. I'm so busy. Y'all see that? He picked the man up. And look how he looking now. He picked up the photographer in a car after asking him to take photos of the rapper for a new song. You shot the photographer who taking the picture. He tried to rob him. Tay-K pit that means that he picked them up. And Sadivar, Sadivar, what's his name? Sadivar was a photographer in a car after giving him, after asking him to take photos of the rapper for a new song. It just shocked me. That's why my tongue getting twisted. Now, Tay-K attorney had criticized the police investigation of the shooting, alleging the case relied too much on self-serving statement. Okay, from a witness in the car when the shooting happened. When the shooting happened, they were so worried about what the witness was saying, with the witness statement. That's what they do. Now, Tay-K is not guilty of capital murder. He's not guilty of capital murder. Murder or manslaughter. And the reason for that is very simple. John Hunter, one of McIntyre attorneys, told juries during a closing argument last week, you have to do it right. You have to do the work. In this case, clearly demonstrate the work wasn't done. Okay? Now the jury, we got to go through this, y'all, before we show our video. Okay? This y'all been doing it. Y'all been with me since 21. Come on, y'all know what to do. Okay. The jury found McIntyre not guilty of capital murder, which would have met a life sentence without the chance of parole. But that little guilty face, baby looking face, they kind of like felt sorry for him. See, I don't feel sorry for the face. The jury would now hear evidence in the trials, punishment, and phase before deciding on a sentence. Okay? McIntyre was also convicted in 2019 for the shooting death of 21-year-old Ethan Walker. What wrong with him? And he talking about he gonna be a rapper. Boy, they about to crack down on y'all. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. But y'all want to do this another day. We're gonna talk about this another day. Okay, I'm about to say something, but the Lord caught my mouth and said, "Let's talk about another day." So he convicted of a shooting death of a 21-year-old. What wrong with the 20s? We can't even get out the 20s. Y'all can't even get out the 20s. I'm sorry, Lord. I said I wasn't gonna do that. Okay. All right, Grandma. All right, Grandma. Now, during a home invasion in 2016 in Mansfield, southeast of Fort Worth, Texas. Where? Jesus, what's wrong with y'all Texas folks? Now, McIntyre recorded the race while he was on the run from authority for the home invasion. Man, you what's wrong with y'all? I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all, I just don't know. So, yeah, what we gonna get into? He made his bed hard. That was his decision that he made. They were poor, and he's guilty of murder for the second time. So right now, I think. Let me make sure I think he about 26, 27 now. Let me see how old Max. I think he about 26, 27. He probably be eligible for parole when he turned by like, he already look like a little old man, 40 some years old. Let me see how old this child is. I want to get y'all the wrong information. Ooh, I'm glad I ain't got to go through this. Woo, Lord Jesus. Let me see. Hey, I think he's 27, but I don't want to think. I want to give y'all the right information. Oh, well, he was 24 when that happened. So that might have been well. Oh, this is now 20. Let me see how old this boy is now. Something ain't right. Something ain't right with y'all. I don't know what it is. Ooh, and I did good. Ooh, Lord bless, honey. Ooh, I can knock on, I don't even have to knock on wood. Well, anyway, about 25, 26, 27, something like that, 25. He 25 said we don't worry about that. But we gonna go ahead on, y'all, and look at one. We just gonna listen to one of the witnesses, okay? We just gonna look, but I just wanted y'all to see this Mr. Tay-K. So let's take a look at this. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And now he can sit there and write a whole lot of raps, man. Mm-mm. The way they are now in prison look like they doing what they want to do because they sure trying to get there. They sure trying to get that way they friends. Ooh, wait, let me put Tay picture up here. You don't want to commit this crime. I ain't commit no crime. Let me move my picture, y'all. They put him up here. Put me up there. I ain't did nothing. I didn't do nothing. Okay. Here we go. Oh, that didn't move. Okay. All right, check this out, y'all. Check this out.
And so after you picked up Mark Saldivar, where did you guys go? He asked us if we could reschedule for the day and if we can give him a ride to North Star. So I agreed and I said, okay, that's fine. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And so on the way to North Star Mall, what happened? We hit the light at McCullough and Tamar took out his gun. We pointed it at Mark and asked for his bag. Mark refused to give him the bag. So they all started hitting him, and Tamar was hitting him with the gun. And the whole time I didn't look back, but when I did, I saw his face. And I started telling them to let him go. And I just kept screaming, let him go. And Jalen opened the door and started pushing him out. And he was fighting to get back in the car. And then I didn't let him in the car. So he went around the car and he jumped on the hood. And the light turned green. I'm going to stop you right there. Okay. So when you all were at the light on McCullough, you said Teamwork produced his bag, correct? Yes. And who did Teamwork have were saying when he had the dad close that one to give him his bag, he turned green. So I started driving. I didn't know where to go, so I turned into the first place that I saw, which was the Chick-fil-A. Once I turned into the Chick-fil-A, he kept yelling at me. So I was just going back and forth really quickly. And Mark came the windshield and Tay-K opened the door and shot him.
This sad. That's sad. Now let me hear what that Whitney got to say, y'all. I got another video for y'all. But let me
Your first witness.
hear this right quick. Jesus. I know that right, Judge. What taking y'all so long to go get them witnesses? They supposed to be right outside that door or down in the room somewhere. Mm.
Cindy, we need a cough drop or anything? All right. All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. All right, make sure you speak up so that members of the jurors can hear. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record, and if you can spell your last name, please. Ashley Bontello, Buentelloo. Yes. This Buentelloo, there's a microphone in front of you, so I'm going to ask you to use it because you're a little soft spoken, okay? The one up.
Take that mask out your face.
All right, did you spell your name for order? Yes. Okay. How old are you currently? I'm 28. Okay, and what city do you currently live in? San Antonio, Texas. And how long have you lived in San Antonio, Texas? My whole life. I'm going to reposition if you don't have to. Okay. You could just move a little closer. Okay. Okay, so how old are you again? 28. Okay, and what city do you currently live in? San Antonio. Okay, and how long have you lived in San Antonio? My whole life. Okay. What school did you attend in San Antonio? Linear. Linear High School. Linear High School, yes.
I still cannot hear witness answers.
All right, so you'll need to lower your mask, please, so that
Or at least bring the microphone up.
All right.
Take the mask
Just
out.
make sure you speak loudly. All right.
Sorry, I'm going to ask you to lean into the microphone. Okay? Yes. Okay. So how old are you? 28. There you go. What city do you currently live in? San Antonio. How long have you lived in San Antonio? My whole life. Okay. And what high school do you attend in San Antonio? Linear High School. Okay. And do you work currently? No, ma'am. What do you do? I'm a stay-at-home mom. Stay-at-home mom? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And why are we here today? To talk about the events that happened in 2017. Okay. So I'm going to turn you back to that day, April 23rd, 2017. Do you recall you were with that day? Yes, ma'am. I was with family members. I was with my tios, my husband, and my grandma. And so, what's your grandma's name? Janie Reyes. Okay. And where's your tios? Caballero and Ernest Reyes. Okay. And husband, where's his name? Raul Quintero.
Your Honor, the juror is ready.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. So here's the thing. As jurors, you're not allowed to ask
No. It's fine. Sometimes, we don't know. So, jurors, you're not allowed to ask questions. If you're not allowed to hear what a witness is saying, raise your hand and let us know. But the state and the defense, they are the persons who will be asking the questions. And if there's a question that you would like a witness to have been asked, you will just have to go with the questions that both sides have asked. Right. All right, you may continue.
Okay. And when you say feel, what is that? My feel? Counsel, yes, okay. And can you just say briefly how you're related to them? He's my mom's brother, and that's my mom's mom. Okay. And so, what were you all doing on that day? Do you recall? Yes, we were getting stuff ready for my grandma's upcoming birthday party that we were planning. Okay. And were you traveling in a car? Yes. Do you recall what kind of car that was? We were in a red Chrysler. Okay. And you're on the United States.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked as Tay-K cigarettes. Okay. 1. And Tay-K cigarette number 2. Have you seen these photos before? Yes, ma'am. And are they a very accurate depiction of the objects that are contained within on indoor action? The state offers its partnership.
I'm so sorry. I can barely hear what she's saying. What did she say?
I need to clean your look. Yeah.
All right, State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted without objection. Yes.
He being difficult. Come on, attorney. You wasting time. I don't know where you can hear that woman. I can hear that woman.
Listen to what he wanted most.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. Mustn't hear his
Show
copy.
you what's been entered into evidence as State Exhibit number 1, and he's just had an opportunity to look at that. But is that the red cleat? That is my Uncle Ernest. Okay, and who's in the back seat right there? That one is going to be my grandma. And in State Exhibit number 2, can you tell me who's contained in that photo? That is Paul. He was in the front, and that is my husband, Raul. Okay, so just for clarity, in the front passenger seat, who was sitting there? Paul. Okay, and then in the back, directly behind that, who's sitting there? It's Raul, and then me in the middle, and my daughter on my lap. And so you guys were traveling in the car, and ultimately you guys end up at the light at McCullough on the Horseman House. Yes, ma'am. Okay, and when you pulled up, do you recall what color the light was? It began to red light. Okay. And was there cars in front of you and behind you? Yes. Okay. And so at some point did somebody get your attention? Yes, there was a woman who came up to us because our gas tank was open, the lid. Okay, and so when she informed you the gas tank was open, what did people in your car do? Paul was the one who got off, and he went to go and close it, and then she informed us that the vehicle.
Hearsay, confrontation.
All right, that objection will be sustained as to hearsay.
So you can't say what the lady told you, but so you said Paul got out and was the gas tank back, right? Yes. Okay, do you recall what kind of vehicle was behind your red Chrysler? It was a black 4-door attention turned to that vehicle?
Yes,
Okay, and why is that?
because there was a altercation that was going on, and so we all turned to look what was going on.
Describe what you observed when you turned around, what you said that part.
When I turned to look around, I did see McIntyre in the passenger side.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. Can we approach?
Yes.
He been complaining since he been there. Mm-mm. She really got lips. She like me. I know how to read lips too. She is on it, boy. See a pretty girl. Wonder what they talking about. Just don't make no sense.
Yeah, Ms. Cornfield, and how do you know that the person that was in the front passenger seat name is not her?
After like when they ended up catching him, I guess, like the names.
Here's my objection, Your Honor.
Your objection is sustained. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you disregard her answer with the name McIntyre.
Because she been looking at the news. Y'all got that. Y'all hinder a case. Y'all can mess up a case being on YouTube, being on Twitter, being on Facebook, looking at the news and getting information, telling them that's where y'all got the information from. She didn't know his name at first. She found out the name through the social media.
So you're to disregard the question and you're to disregard the answer.
See what happened?
Your Honor, we would respectfully move for mistrial.
That will be denied. You may proceed.
He tried.
Without naming the person, can you describe what the person in the front passenger seat looked like?
He was a black male.
And the person that was driving the vehicle, do you recall what name?
She was a white female with blonde hair.
And so when you turn around and you look at that black four door, what did you observe going on in that black vehicle?
There was a Mexican that was sitting in the back, getting beat up on by the people that were in the front and in the back, sitting with him.
Okay, and so when you say the Mexican boy that was sitting in the back seat was being beat up on, who was exactly beating up on?
Just the two guys, the black male in the front and then also the one in the back.
And did you see anything in the hands of the black male in the front?
Yes.
What did he have in his hand?
It was a handgun, a black handgun.
Okay, and where was that pointed at?
He was also using it to hit him.
Okay, so it was being used to strike the person in the back seat. Is that
Mm.
correct? Okay, and so the person in the back seat that was being struck, eventually what happened with that person?
He somehow ended up getting out of the vehicle, and we had thought that was it, but he ended up getting on top of the vehicle after.
Okay, and so when the light turned green, what did your car do?
We ended up taking the right that was right there because with the gun situation, we had my daughter, so we ended up turning to safety, and they ended up going straight.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 3, and it's a youth review this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're familiar with the area where this occurred, right? And so this is a very accurate depiction of the location, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
No objections.
All right, and that's State's Exhibit number 3?
Yes, Your Honor.
State's Exhibit number 3 is admitted without objection.
Okay, Ms. Pointvale, and so, can you see that okay up there? Yes, ma'am. All right, and so you see where I'm pointing at, that's McCullough Avenue, correct? And so, where I'm pointing at right here, is that where your vehicle was stopped at the red light? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and so earlier, you said that your vehicle took a right, is that correct? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so that was then traveling a right down McCullough Avenue. Okay, and so then where did your vehicle go from there? We ended up turning to the left into the shopping centers that are right there. Right here? Yes. Okay, and so when you turned into the shopping center, what did you hear? Did you hear anything at that point? We heard one gunshot. Okay. And after you heard the gunshot, did you see anything associated with the Chick-fil-A? We saw the black vehicle speeding off. Okay. And is that the same black vehicle that was behind you? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and is that the same black vehicle where the Mexican boy got on the vehicle? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and you said you observed it speeding off? Yes, we had already taken a left out. We were coming from this side. Here, right here, is that correct? Yes. Okay, and you're saying you see that black come out here to the left, is that correct? Yes, speeding off. Okay. And so, once you see that, what do you and what a car do? I mean, once we had the gunshot, we were just like talking about it, and then passing the Chick-fil-A, we ended up seeing him rolling on the ground. And when you say him rolling on the ground, the Mexican boy that was on the side? Yes. Okay. And so when you see him rolling on the ground, then what do you do? Got off the vehicle. Me, Paul, and Raul, and we ran to him. Okay. And when you observed the Mexican boy that was laying in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, that's the same person that you observed in the black kid getting beat up on. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And so when you observed him, did you notice if he had any injuries? He had a big bump on his forehead. And did you make contact with officers on that day? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and did you provide a verbal statement to the officers on it? Mm-hmm. And
been in a car accident?
Did the man still alive? They had to do him like that.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm okay.
I just have a few questions for you. The first is, did you,
Like 2 weeks ago?
okay, you met with the lawyers themselves or with the advocate, or do you remember?
With her?
With Ms. Galloway? Okay. Did you review anything in anticipation of your testimony?
Just everything that happened, like from the cameras.
You reviewed your previous statement. And so you were standing outside the Chick-fil-A when you gave that statement to the police, right?
Yes, sir.
And you recall you were explaining to the officer several things that you had learned from other people in the parking lot and you were waiting for police to arrive. You remember that part of your statement? You don't remember the officer telling you to only tell him what you personally saw?
Oh, yes, yes.
That happened, right? So by the time you spoke to the police, you had already spoken to several other witnesses to the incident, correct?
No, just the people I was with.
Okay, so you would talk amongst yourself.
Yes.
And how many were in the car?
5 of us.
Okay, and what seat were you in?
I was in the middle and the back.
In the middle and the back. Okay, so you didn't see the altercation first. Who saw it first in your car?
Paul.
Paul?
He was
Was the driver?
No, he was the one who got out to close the
gas tank?
Yes.
Okay, so he got out and closed the gas tank, comes back into the car and says, there's people fighting in the car behind us. Is that basically it?
Yes.
Okay, and that's that light that y'all were parked at lasted?
It was a good minute.
Okay. minute, couple minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you saw happened very quickly.
Yes.
Okay. And is there tinting on that car? It looks like it from the photographs they showed you.
On our card?
On your car, yes, ma'am.
No.
There's no tinting at all?
No, not like out the back window. Maybe the sides, maybe, but not out the back.
Okay. And you're looking at the car directly behind you?
Yes, there's the car right behind.
Okay. Is it parked like bumper to bumper? Is it parked back a car length? About how far from your back bumper would that car have been stationed?
The very next car. Okay.
Okay.
Right for the red light.
And you were watching for the whole time and the light was red?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have someone in your lap, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you say that you're watching it, are you talking cleaning your neck, or are you talking about you reposition your entire body so they're looking that direction?
Yeah, I'm looking back.
Okay, but basically, your belly button's still facing forward. You're looking back this way?
No, I turned. I was able to turn.
So more like kind of a side view?
Yeah.
Okay. And there were how many people did you say in the vehicle?
Well, 6 including my daughter, but it's 5 of us.
Fair to say that there are obviously things in that car that block a full view of everything going on in the car. Do you agree with that? Well, there are 2 seats in the front part of the car, right? There's a driver's seat and there's a front passenger seat. And there are people occupying those seats, right?
Yes.
You can't see through the people or the seats, right?
No.
So you can't see the parts of what's going on in that car that are obstructed by those seats and those people, correct?
You're talking about the vehicle behind us?
In the vehicle behind you, when you're looking into that vehicle, you can't see what's obstructed by the front passengers and the front seats, right?
Well, you can because the Mexican was sitting right in the middle. So, even those 2 that were in the front, you were able to see what was going on in the middle.
You can see what's going on in the middle. You can't see what's going on, and so you can't say definitively who had a gun and who didn't have a gun amongst all the people in the car, right?
The only one I saw was the one in the front.
But there's nothing about what you testified to today that you want to convey that there weren't other guns, right?
Not that I know of.
Okay. And you don't know who pulled the gun first, right?
No.
The altercation had already started when it was brought to your attention that it was happening, right?
Yes.
They were mid-fight when you looked at it.
Yes.
Okay. And you said that the Mexican man got out of the vehicle, right? And he continued to, I guess, argue, verbally gesture with the people that were still in the car?
I mean, he got out and kind of made a run for it, but they had already closed the door. And as soon as the lights had turned green, he was on top. I'm not sure, we didn't have the windows down to hear what was going on.
And you didn't see how he got on top?
No. Well, yeah, he just jumped up on front.
Okay, so you saw him jump on top
Yes.
of the hood of the car? Okay.
Oh.
So, did you see him crawl over anybody as he exited the car?
No.
Okay, you just saw him exit the car.
We just saw him exit.
Okay. And you saw him stomping on the windshield?
No, we didn't see that part.
By that point, the light had turned green, right?
Yeah.
And so cars were beginning to move, right? I'm sorry, man. Yes or no?
Yes.
So your vantage point is, at that point, changing as your car is moving and their car is moving, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't actually see the gunshot, you just heard it, correct?
We just heard it, yes.
By that point, you're parked further over towards the music store and not in the Chick-fil-A parking lot proper, correct?
Yeah, we weren't parked. We were driving because we had just turned in there just to turn in there to get away from all of that.
So you're driving away from all of it and you hear a gunshot just in the car?
Yes.
Okay.
So she didn't see it. She heard it. Okay, man. What you saying? She said she saw that man. She knows she saw.
That's the witness.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excused by the defense, Your Honor.
All right, the rule goes under both. What that means is you're not allowed to watch anything about this trial and you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. Do you understand? You are excused. Okay. State, call your next witness. The state calls Paul W.
All right, Paul. Let's see what Paul gonna say, y'all. Let's see what Paul gonna say. I know she glad, but I've been running out that courtroom. I'm gonna say Tay-K gonna be doing all that writing like Jarvis did. Him and child in Dolph case.
All right, and if you can have if you put that little mic on your shirt so the court reporter can hear.
Take that mask off. Ain't nothing wrong with y'all. But they're gonna have to take that mask out.
Just right for your situation. They'll do your time.
For those who just missed the trial, I'm just need to catch up on it with Tay-K.
Swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep it and spell your last name, please.
Paul Caballero. Last name Caballero.
State.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Caballero. Well, one, nice to see you again. I've seen you a few times for this case. Is that right? Yes. And met here in the courthouse. Is that right? Yes. And I'd like to go ahead and jump right in and ask you if you remember that day back in April of 2017, on the 23rd of April to be exact. Remember that day? Yes. And speaking about that day, were you in a vehicle that day with some of your friends and family? Yes. And do you remember where that vehicle was located on the road in San Antonio? Yes, we were on 410 and Monthella. I'm sorry, what? 410 and Monthella. I'm sorry, I stutter sometimes. No problem. If you don't mind, that first mic that's in front of you, make sure you're speaking to there so people can hear you, okay? Okay. I'm a little hard to hear, so just bear with me. But, one, do you remember what type of vehicle that was that y'all were driving in, or rather that you were riding in that day? Yes, we had a red Chrysler 200. And Your Honor, may I approach? Yes. I'm going to show you some items that have already been entered into evidence. Number one, and state exhibit number two. Are you familiar with those? Yes. And are those photos of one of that Chrysler that y'all were in that day? Yes. And does it also show individuals that you know in those photos? Yes. And in state exhibit number one, can you identify the individual that's driving the vehicle? Yes, Ernest. Partner. Thank you. And then do you see somebody in the back seat there? Yes, his mom. His mom, and what's her name? Jamie Reagan. And in state exhibit number two, can you identify the person standing there? Yeah, that's me. That's you, okay. And then, is there anybody in the back seat that you can see or identify? Yes, Ashley and Ro, and her baby. Your baby, I guess you can see the top of the little baby's head there. Yes. Okay. So, in addition to you and Ernest, which was the driver, is that correct? Yes. And were you do you remember where you were sitting that day? Were you sitting in the front passenger seat or the back passenger seats? And the front passenger seat. Front passenger seat. So next to the driver. Yes. And then is that where Raul was in state exhibit number two? Is that where he was seated at the time? Yes. And also Ashley and the baby. Yes. And then of course we got Jamie Ray is sitting all the way to the left in the rear. Yes. Okay. So this is accurate how y'all were seated when y'all were at the intersection also? Yes. Okay, thank you. Speaking of the intersection, going to show you what's been marked state exhibit number 3. And are you familiar with this map? Yes. In fact, have I shown you this map before? Yes. And so you've seen this map before. Can you point out on there where that intersection, Nicola and 410 is? I'm sorry. It's right there. Yeah. And then where was your vehicle at? We were right here, behind the truck that was in front of us. Behind a truck that was in front of you? Yes. So there was a truck in front of you, and then your car? Yes. Okay. So, under the overhead projector, I'm going to zoom in here. Now I'm going to point to where.
Yeah, this is kind of spooky. It's a baby. They better be glad they didn't shoot up in that car.
To this vehicle right here? Yes. And that's, let me make sure. This is not a map from that day. Is that correct? No. I mean, some things have changed on this map, but generally this is how it looks. Yes. So that's the main intersection. It hasn't really changed since 2017. Objection, speculation.
That'll be overruled. If you know the answer, you can answer.
I'm sorry, you can repeat the question, please? This intersection hasn't changed much since 2017. Actual road, it hasn't moved. Okay, yeah, no, the road's the same. I'm looking at this over here, sorry. Hey, bad question. I'll move on from that, but this is the intersection that we're speaking of, correct? Yes. Okay. And like you stated just previously, that this vehicle right here is roughly where y'all were at that stoplight. Is that correct? Yes. And well, let me ask, were you stopped at that time at that light? Yes. And so, is it assumed that did y'all have a red light? Yes. And when you were at that light, did anything catch your attention? Yes, there was a lady that was on the side that told me that my gas cap was open. Gas cap was open? Yes. And so you're at a stoplight, so what did you do? Well, I exited the vehicle and put the cap back on. And where was the cap? It's on the passenger side. Passenger side? So let me see if it's okay. So state exhibit number 2. Again, the gas cap you're speaking of? Yes, it is. So it's on the passenger side. State exhibit number 2 here. Little zoomed in, but I think we get the picture that there's the gas cap is right there. Is that correct? Yes. And if I told you that the gas cap was open? Yes. And then you exited. So what did you do at that point? Well, at that time, as I was putting on the gas cap, she did tell me that the car behind her. Hearsay confrontation.
Sustained to hearsay.
I'll refresh you here. I'll ask you. Let me ask you this: did you ever replace that gas cap? Yeah, yes, I closed it. Yes. And after you closed the gas cap, what were your actions right after you closed the gas cap? Well, the car behind us, I saw a gun. So at that time, I proceeded to get back in the vehicle and told my partner as soon as that light turns green for us to make a right to get out of that car sway that was behind us. But let me back up a little bit. Okay. And without telling me exactly what she said, did the lady that had mentioned the gas cap to you, did she mention something else to you? Yes. You're saying confrontation.
All right, the answer is either yes or no. You're not allowed to state what a witness has said. Do you understand? Yes. So that question requires a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
And I think you answered the question if I'm correct, but did she also mention something else to you? Yes. And can you tell the jury, like, what was her demeanor towards you when she was speaking to you about this? just very cautious.
Very what?
Cautious, like worried.
Okay. And then, what did she say to you?
Objection. Interstate confrontation.
All right, so I have parties approach.
But prosecutor, why you keep asking him what somebody said? You might need to retire.
Have you started your
You up there asking that man what did so what did they say? It's you can't do that. Come on, man. You've been doing this too long now. Come on. You know, going well, you can't do that. Say questions. And speed it up. Get to the real deal. Let's get to the real deal. I'm gonna this was one of the witness y'all. I'm trying to see what I get out the situation, what happened. So we're gonna like listen to the witnesses to make our own judgment. But I'm trying to get to the key point of what he's trying to ask him. He's taking so long. Oops. That everything. Oh yeah, he need to retire. Yeah, he tired. He tired. Yeah, the prosecutor. Yeah, I'm going. What I'm do, y'all? I'm gonna skip this a little bit. I'm gonna skip it out.
A female driver. Yeah. And so that,
Let me put it right here on him. Now he may be pretty good.
correct. Yeah, that's right. Look at that vehicle behind.
Directly through my rear view mirror.
So the other mirrors or devices to look at that vehicle behind you?
I would switch from my rear view to the side mirrors, but it was maybe through the rear view.
I'm going to show you state exhibit number 1. That's the vehicle that you were traveling in that day.
Yeah, that's correct.
And who is that driving?
Oh, that's me.
That is you. Yeah. And it was just in the back. Show you that one also. Is that the same vehicle?
Yeah, correct.
And can you see individuals that are in the back seat?
Yes, that's my niece and her husband and her child, her kid.
Okay, and just the names of those individuals at the back?
Ashley and Raul.
Okay, and then who's this individual standing here?
That's my partner, Paul Anthony.
Paul Anthony.
Yeah.
What do you call him?
I call him Anthony, but his family calls him.
Okay, was that the individual that just testified today?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. So you just testified that your attention was brought to that vehicle somehow, and while you're looking at through the mirrors of your vehicle, what did you observe?
Yes, it was a clear view. Right away, I saw a passenger waving a pistol, a firearm, directing his attention to the back seat of the car because there was an altercation, and I'm not sure what was a struggle in the back seat.
Okay, and so let me ask you, you observed this through the mirror?
Yeah, correct.
This is not something that you learned from somebody else. This is something that you directly saw looking through.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and what time of day was this? Well, you remember what time of day?
So once sun was out, it was about 4 afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, so it was daylight.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a nighttime day where you couldn't see very well.
No. on the passenger, and which passenger in that vehicle in the back? Was it a backseat passenger or a seat passenger that you saw with the gun?
A front seat passenger.
And can you give any description of that front seat passenger?
Not a direct. I couldn't point out facial hair, tattoos, or piercings or anything, but he was just a black male.
Black male?
Yeah.
And obviously, you just stated, I just need to ask, could you even tell the age? If you can.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And when you're observing this front seat passenger, black male with the gun, you said he was, what was he doing? How was if he's in the passenger seat up there, Your Honor, may I just stand here? Yes, demonstrate to the jury that you're that black male with the gun, and there's a driver. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was a female driver.
A female driver.
Yeah.
And so that I'd be right next to you. So if I'm that female driver, and you're that black male with the gun, do you remember which hand he was using, or do you recall?
Right.
His right hand. Show the jury what that black male with the gun was doing.
Initially, I saw what I did see. He was reaching over like to the back, swinging it and like trying to intimidate somebody that was back there that they're trying to get control over or something. I'm not sure.
So in the back seat.
In the back seat, yeah.
And so you're saying swing. Was the person leaning or was he turned around? How was that individual?
The gun was in his right hand. He was just reaching over.
And could you tell?
I believe I saw two individuals. There might have been three. But yeah,
There was individuals in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
And you just stated at least two, maybe three.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And do you see any other individual in that car with the gun?
No.
I guess to be fair, you couldn't really see all those passengers in the back seat, so you don't know for certain if somebody may or may not have had a gun.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you see this, I guess what you described as an intended gun in the back seat.
I'm gonna skip a little.
You're saying component confrontation.
The reason why I'm gonna skip it, y'all, but it's just a little bit more to go. Okay, I just went. He's seen a lot.
About the fact that it's an excited utterance that is not a Michigan v. Bryant exception, then I would object under confrontation clause and in a minor objection.
All right. Station is laid as to who is going to be sustained.
Motion to instruct the jury to disregard all the testimony about what the man said on the hood of the car.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, disregards the statement that
And motion to instruct.
denied.
This person that was on the hood, let's go back to when I believe you used the terminology sped off.
Yeah.
That individual was on the hood at that time?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you recall how fast would you say? How did people take off? Did it just take off really fast, or did it just sort of glide out of that intersection?
I would say glide.
Was the individual standing on the hood, or
Right.
how were they on the hood?
At that moment, he was holding on. He was balance or fall off. So he was holding on to the windshield.
It's holding on. Okay. And so, you say, now, when you take a ride on McCullough, where do you go from there?
I continue straight. There's like a shopping center. And then I take a quick left into the shopping parking lot.
And that's a quick left, and that would be to the right on McCullough, and then
this parking lot here? Yeah, correct. And then at that point, when you're in this parking lot, where did you drive to?
Well, because I was taking my time, I was very slow. I was trying to get name of the street, inform like the officers, because I think my niece was on the phone with the police at that time. So I was trying to get the street name because I know I'm not from this.
Man, the baby was on the phone. Oh, man, again.
Parking lot. I just continued straight.
Okay, y'all. So what we're gonna move on to now is I just want to get a little glimpse of what the witnesses were saying, so I can be doing my own judgment. So now we're gonna walk into what really happened, what was the verdict. So now we're gonna get into the verdict. I know some of y'all already know, okay, but we're still gonna get into it because some of us missed it, okay. So we're gonna find out what kind of punishment did they give this man. Yeah.
Defendant Tamar McIntyre are guilty of the lesser included offense of murder.
Guilty of murder. That is what a jury decided after more than 8 hours of deliberations in the trial of Texas rapper Tay-K. Tamar McIntyre has been convicted in the shooting death of photographer Mark Saldivar in 2017. Now a jury must decide his prison sentence. Erica Hernandez joins us live from the Justice Center this afternoon. So, Erica, the jury went with a lesser charge in this case. So what's the difference?
Glad she's gonna tell y'all that because I was gonna give y'all the definition for it. Oh, but I like y'all ladies. Thank you for educating them. Us.
Yeah, Myra, if it was capital murder, if they would have found him guilty of that, he would have been automatically sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But because it was that lesser charge, the range of punishment is now 5 to 99 years or life in prison, and there's also a possibility for parole after serving some time. It all depends what that sentence is that they come up with. And we'll go into detail with that a little bit more later once the sentence is determined. Family members in the court did, however, and the judge asked his mother to leave the court. After a short recess, the trial resumed with the punishment phase. Important to note, this is not the first time McIntyre has been convicted of murder. He was found guilty of murder in Tarrant County in 2019. Today, the defense asked the jury to consider McIntyre's troubled childhood and deciding his punishment.
Tamar McIntyre was 16 years old when this happened.
Wow.
He was a child.
Whew.
That Tamar's childhood up to that point was far from idyllic. He was in the foster system. We are looking at
I figured it.
circumstance through the eyes of a 16-year-old boy who has had a traumatic and horrible life and whose judgment was impaired.
Now, once the jury does deliver their sentence, the prosecution will be asking for it to be stacked with that 55 years that he's already serving out of Tarrant County, but that's a decision the judge will make. Now, the prosecution has already rested for their punishment phase, introducing all witnesses tomorrow. The defense will take over, and that will start around 12:30 tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. This way they decided that, y'all. This is right here. What they decide. See, we already know what he was guilty or not guilty, but let's see. I want to hear them say The jury say he guilty.
Tay-K, a jury there was accused of a team. Link McIntyre to the crime that makes anywhere between.
It's a piece of trash. That the implications. Yes, my life. That's the Old Testament. And there it is.
McIntyre's second murder conviction. He was previously convicted of murder for a deadly.
Second murder. Oh my God. It seems like something going.
Home invasion in North Texas back in 2019. In that case, he was sentenced to 55 years.
Ooh, wait. That's the decision. That's the poor decision that he made. So he got to deal with the consequence. The decision that you made. Oh, y'all made up your mind. Did you think it was 4 of them? But we didn't see story background. Y'all like it. Now close that screen door and stop letting out them flies up in here. Yes. He was in foster care.